thanks again for providing us a bid. We are certainly more than a business, a family. We're family owned and operated. My name's Jamie and I'm your estimator. Here is the first bid, the cheapest bid, with the seal coating, the patching, the crack fill, and the striping. And here is what it looks like to seal coat. And this material is called coal tar sealer, and it will leave a credit card thickness on top of the asphalt. It helps keep the moisture and water out. It is important to leave enough time for it to dry before people walk on it and then walk on their concrete, or we have had people walk into a motel after as well. So it is just good to be aware of that. Second is the patching, like the 23 by 120 area here. And this is certainly the worst part of the parking lot. This area right here has a big mound in it, and then there is a pretty rough area next to the trash can, which is very typical. And when I say mill and patch, this is what I mean. We have a skid steer with a milling head on the front where we mill out the asphalt, very similar to what a dentist does when you have a cavity. He mills out the cavity and puts a filling back. So that's what we do. We mill out the bad asphalt and put new asphalt back. The third part on this bid is the hot crack seal, or the crack sealant, or some people call it crack fill as well. And that's what this looks like. It is hot tar that's in a metal box, and the tar comes down and fills the crack. The idea is that it keeps the water out of the crack so that the water can't go down into the crack and freeze and bust the asphalt open more. We have many customers who almost only do this to their parking lots. Lowe's nationally chooses to only do crack fill, so they're one of those companies that only does crack fill. But while crack fill it's about 60 cents a linear foot, and it's hard to give substantial evidence for how it works, but there's much anecdotal evidence as to how well crack fill works. Sometimes we miss these cracks and they're not as important, as long as you get the wider cracks. And the company who makes crack fill, one of them that we use is Craftco. They give us a chart on how big the cracks are, and if we spent all day measuring cracks, we wouldn't make any money. So we don't measure the cracks. We do the best we can to hit as much of the cracks with as much of the material as we possibly can. This is why you do crack fill, because eventually they turn into potholes. Here's the chart that Craftco gives, but it's totally impractical. Now the last thing is the paving, which is a different bid, and I'm estimating currently about $80,000 to do. And that is this, which would be taking a paver and putting a new 1.5 inches of asphalt over the entire subdivision or road. I hope that is clear. I did mention several different things to Donna that are relevant, I think. One is, many times if the asphalt's in pretty good shape, it's a good idea to leave it alone. Maybe seal coating, it's the best idea, and not patching it and holding out until you get potholes. We will do potholes for a minimum of $1,000. So it's all a delicate balance. Should you repave? Should you seal coat? I mean, if you wait 20 years before you pave again versus seal coating every 2 or 3 years, would you save money? It's hard to tell. So both of paving and seal coating make the parking lot look nicer. Paving, of course, is more money, but perhaps over less time. There probably is a balance in the middle of paving once every 30 years, but adding life to the asphalt by seal coating it in the beginning, probably within the first 2 years, and then maybe every 3 or 4 years after that. But really comes down to what you guys want to do. But that's my advice. You definitely want to crack fill if you don't want to spend the money on paving. It might be good to pave some of those areas, but then again, sometimes it's better to leave it alone until you get a pothole. It's all matters about how much those bumps in the road near the bad drainage area really bother you. But that's my advice, and thank you for inviting us to be. Have a good day.